Hey guys, Mike here, Grinding Gears Garage. Working on our blaster again. Since we're waiting on our Vito's piston to come in, we're going to do a little cleanup on our cylinder. As you can see, the casting on these blasters is really bad. There's a lot of problem areas that the fuel can get trapped in. As you can see right here, there's a nice lip where the casting meets the cylinder block, or the sleeve. Looks like somebody already tried to clean this up, they just didn't finish the job. Honestly, there's some more material we can remove to get rid of some of these edges, like right here, and this little dimple back in here. We found all this information online. Ken O'Connor Racing, I will put a link in the description below. He has a YouTube channel as well. This is where we learned all these tricks of what needs to be removed. As you can see, this side's real bad. This ridge right here. There's some problem areas. There's some bad just casting in general. I mean, you can just hear me running the pen over it. It's real bad right in there. So we're going to take our some of the tools. We're going to go over that here in a second. Clean these areas up. These are your transfer ports. Then we're going to focus a lot of our time on our exhaust port. We still have to clean up all this carbon buildup in here, but from factory, these things have casting marks. There's a casting line. You can't really see it, but I'll have to clean this up so you can see it better. There's a casting line that runs basically right through the middle of your exhaust port. Excuse me. So your exhaust on a two-stroke needs to be as smooth as possible. There needs to be zero rough areas. Now your intake needs to be rough, not rough, but it can't be smooth. That helps atomize the fuel. So we're going to go over how to clean this up the best we can. The only thing we want to try to avoid is getting into your exhaust port area, which is right here on the bore of your cylinder. We are going to touch these once we hone them. You want to take the chamfer them just so the rings can't catch them, snag, and break. So once we hone the cylinder, we're going to go over chamfering your ports to make sure they stay nice and clean so you don't run into any issues. But our intake looks like somebody already went through and tried to clean it up the best I can. We're going to take one of our blue stones and go through and clean that up. So we're going to go over the tools that we use to do this, and then we'll get started. Alright, some of the tools that we're going to be using, we bought this little micro die grinder. What's nice is it's speed adjustable, so I can slowly turn the air on. And adjust the speed up and down, so we can get a nice cut when using our Burs. So we also have this port and polish kit. We picked this up off of Amazon. It has these sanding drums and different grits, 80 and 120. Comes with these two mandrels. We'll show you guys how to use this. We're going to use this on our exhaust when we polish that up. And then we have some bluestone polishing bits. We picked these off of eBay. They're pretty non-expensive. We have another set coming with different tips to get into different areas. And then we have these Tungsten Carbide Burs. They are double cut, so they cut in both directions. We bought a full set with a bunch of different heads. These are 1/8 inch to fit our micro grinder. If we decide to use our big die grinder, I have a few different Burs laying around here for my big die grinder, but I don't think we're going to break that out, seeing as it's tough to get that into certain places. But we may use my Dremel as well if we need a little bit better speed control. So that's pretty much all the tools we're going to be using. The biggest thing that you need, safety glasses. Little metal chunks get in your eye. It's no fun. I've been there, been in the hospital. It's absolutely terrible. So first and foremost, always wear your safety glasses. Another helpful tool would be a work light if you don't have a well-lit area, so you can see what exactly you're removing. So we're going to get everything set up, go over our process, show you guys a little bit how we do it, and then we'll move on to the exhaust port. So we got a kind of a pointy, not the very sharp tip, but we got more of the rounded tip so we can get into the close areas. The biggest thing you want to do is slow. You don't want to go into this balls to the wall. You want to remove as little material as possible and go consistent with your speed. if you start removing huge chunks of material, you may get ahead of yourself, take too much out. The biggest thing is we're not trying to remove part of the sleeve here. We're actually going to be trying to smooth the casting into the sleeve. We are going to take some sleeve material out, but your problem is not your sleeve, it's the casting. So we're going to blend this the best we can. At the end, you will see there is going to be some material removed, but we want to stay away from this edge and focus more on the outside here. And then on this side here, we're going to try and blend this little pocket in better. Grab my pen. Take this pocket right here and blend this lip in a little bit better, and this lip here, and this little hump. Try and make all these transitions nice and smooth for our fuel, so when it goes into your transfer port and then back in, we don't run into any issues. So we're going to get started. We'll film little bits here and there, but we'll just show you guys as the process as we go. As you can see here, we started on this side a little bit. We're going to blend that in a little bit better. As you can see, it's already substantially better than it was over here. We got to work this corner yet. But on this side of the port, you can see we started blending everything a lot better, taking down a lot of the rough areas. As you can see, this nice smooth transition. I need to talk to, I'm going to send Ken a message and find out what to do about this little dimple right here, if I can blend that in all the way or not. Double check his video on how he does it. But definitely recommend watching Ken's video. He does a fantastic job explaining how all this is done and where you can remove material. We're going very moderate with this. He goes a little heavier on this area, smoothing this out. He removes a lot of material on these two sides. We're just looking to smooth mainly to increase our airflow. So we're going to change out our bit, get in a little deeper in here. As you can see, this finish is a little rough. This is where the blue stones come in handy. You can take and get in there and polish. We're waiting on our other set, which has more of a, there's a couple that have more points. So as you can see, this port here is the same as this one. As you can see, we removed this little weird spot right here the best we can. We're going to talk to Ken about getting in further towards the pocket here. But this lip here is gone. It's all smoothed out. And a lot of the rough areas, you can't really see it on camera, but down further into the transfer port on the other side, there's a lot of like goobers and stuff built up on the wall, which is what you mainly want to smooth out, because all those things are going to hit the air and make them tumble and act weird. You want the smoothest port, but not smooth. You want it as, let's just say smooth for reference, but you don't want it smooth because you still want it rough, that the fuel and air mix together and atomize before it goes into your chamber for the detonation. But you want this as clean as, let's say clean, how about that? Clean as possible, no rough areas. We obviously need to spend a little bit more time cleaning this up. But we're going to talk to Ken again about this little dimple area right here on the side, about if we can smooth this all the way out or if that's too much material removed. But, so we're on our way. We're going to shut the camera off, go back to doing our thing with the die grinder, and we'll show you guys some more progress. So we've still been going to town. As you can see, this is all smoothed out. We got to do a little bit right here in this corner, then we got to do a little bit over here in this corner, and then this has all been smoothed out. And then once we're done, we're going to take our blue stones and we're going to get rid of some of this roughness from using our double cut burr. We do have to smooth out. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little ridge right here. We're going to smooth out. It's from us trying to blend in this groove right here. So we are going to blend that in, finish up this corner over here, this corner over here. Still waiting to hear about this little pocket here, but we're going to polish all that up and then we're ready to clean up with our bluestone. So we took one of our small sanding rolls. We did 80 grit, so there's still, it's not smooth, but there's still some, it's not roughage, but you don't want it super smooth that the fuel doesn't atomize. So it's cleaned up, everything's nice and ported. And now we're going to move on to the other side. You can see it looks way worse. So we're going to start on that. We're not going to film it because it's pretty much identical to the other side. Same thing needs to be cleaned up. So we're going to go ahead and get that started. And then we're going to cover we're going to clean up our exhaust port. We took our sanding roll a little bit and cleaned up in here. Looks like somebody already cleaned up the casting marks. We're going to clean this up a little bit better so we can see what we're working with, and then we're going to polish it as high as we can. Probably going to finish that up by hand up to probably about 500 grit. Do that by hand real quick, just get a nice polish on it. And then we might do a little cleanup on the intake just with our sanding roll to polish some of this crap out of here. All right, so we're going to finish this up and we're going to go over the exhaust. So we got our our porting all finished up. We're going to get a polishing pass on it yet to clean up some edges. And I see we messed right in here, a little bit down in there. But as you can see, the ports look way better. This lip is gone. You can't even barely catch a fingernail on it. So as you can see, it's cleaned up pretty nice. I took a sanding wheel as well as cleaned up our gasket surface here. I got a clean a little bit up there. We also polished our exhaust port. I had to get some fine grit and finish polishing it by hand. So that's pretty much it on our porting and polishing. I am gonna hit the inside of this a little bit just to clean up some of the rough casting marks, but that's pretty much it. Again, we did all of this based off of a few videos Ken O'Connor Racing has on YouTube. I'm going to stick the link to his channel below. You guys check it out. Don't take anything I said by word. Check his videos out. He's the master at doing this. He's been doing this a lot longer than I have, obviously. So check it out. We're going to clean this up a little bit more, and we're waiting on our new piston from Vito's, and we are going to hone it out and show you guys how to chamfer all of your ports so the rings don't catch on them, and then we'll be ready to slap this baby back together and make some power. So thanks for watching, guys. As always, please like, subscribe, comment below with any questions. It's nice hearing from you guys on feedback, so we'll see you guys again soon.